Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new PFC week. And today, we're up against HDvee. It's going to be a pretty tough match. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. We're pretty much here now to just stop people from progressing on into playoffs. But I won't be going to playoffs, so I'm perfectly fine. It's just another fun match this week. So I'm using Hercules, our Mega Pincer, of course. Can't not take him. He's a real powerhouse on the team, and I could really do with its help. Next we're going with Spectre with Choice Scarf. We might be able to outspeed some of his mons. He's got a pretty tricky team, so hopefully having a speedy mon might help us, you know, to whittle down some of his mons, maybe get in a quick revenge kill. That'd be really nice too. Next we're taking our Bronzong, the Great Wall. This is mainly our special defensive wall. That's the reason it's coming with us this week. The only problem for it would be the Talonflame, so we will have to keep a close eye on when that Talonflame is coming out. Hopefully we can get these Stealth Rocks up, and then we can deal with the Talonflame. It'll take 50% damage, and we might get a revenge kill with either Haunter or either our Hercules. Next we're going to go with our Crocodile. This is the moves that I'm going to go with. I'm going to actually put Stone Edge onto it. I will do that just after this, actually. I'm going to put Stone Edge on in case we have to fight with the Talonflame. We might be able to, you know, deal some damage. And, I mean, it is ×4, so it'll KO it no matter what. Plus, we've got the Pursuit Trap, which we really like. It's done really well for us this season. Here's Choice Scarf as well. Choice Scarf Moxie. We've got two Choice Scarf users, and then we've got our You Got Mail, who is our Choice Bandage user. Mainly for that extreme speed, does around about 5% to most mons, so it's really nice. It will help us out a lot. The Ice Punch we're running as well in case we come up against any dragon types. He has got a Sylveon, so that thing is going to be coming out. It's going to deal quite a lot of damage to our team, which is a bit of a problem. And then for my last mon, I'm going to go for Yanmega. I didn't know what to pick as my last mon. I'm thinking I should have gone Lapras, really. But I'm going to go with the Omega. Maybe get a Protect, get some Air Slashes and stuff off. And maybe get lucky with some Power Flinches. I don't know. But that is the team we're going to be going with this week. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the battle. I will see you guys in the episode. But for now, let's jump into the battle. Okay, guys, here we are. This is the match. The final match of the PFC Season 2. Now, I'm going to do my best to stop HDvee in his tracks. Hopefully we can do some sort of damage to his team, but he has got a very powerful team. I'm not sure what I was going to do. As you can tell, this is not a live commentary, unfortunately. It was just busy on that day, and I never got to sit down and actually live commentate at the time. But here we go. I'm going to start with my Great Wall. Now, I want to get Stealth Rocks up as soon as I can. He's got 3 mons on that team who I've got, well, he's got his Talonflame, which will take 50%. He's also got his Latias and his Tornadus, Thunderous, sorry, that will take 25% damage. So I do want to try and get him up as soon as possible. His possible lead, I was thinking was going to be Rhydon to try and get his own rocks up, but he doesn't actually go for Rhydon, which was a little bit surprising. It started to hesitate. I started to hesitate my decision, but I thought, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick to it. So he does start up with Zeus, which is his Thunderous. I was balancing between Stealth Rocks and Toxic, checking his stats out and whatnot. He obviously outspeeds, which is fine, but I go for a Toxic, thinking I might. If he decides to switch, that's fine. We'll get a Toxic off on somebody else, but we know we're guaranteed to get Toxics off on somebody else. And we're also not revealing we've got Stealth Rock straight off the word go, because he can just switch out into his Latias here if he really wanted to, and we'll just get rid of them if it's his Defogger. But he does go for Volt Switch. That did a lot more damage than I was anticipating it to do. It did 32% nearly. 31, just over 31%. A little bit disappointed it did that much damage, but out comes his Rhydon, which I did expect. That's what I thought he was going to lead with straight away, but he did get some damage off on my Great Wall, which is predicted. So here I could just go for the Earthquake. I am damage calculating, which is why my moves take a little bit of time in between. Looking at speeds here, I wanted to go for Gyro Ball, being stab, and our speeds are very, well, his isn't greatly higher than mine, so going for Gyro Ball is a bit of a stupid move right here. I should have just gone Earthquake, or at least just Stealth Rock. There we go, he got his Stealth Rocks up. I went for the Gyro Ball for super effective damage also, but it doesn't do a lot because of our stats. I should have just clicked Earthquake if I were going to attack there instead of going for Gyro Ball. But here, I do want to set up my own rocks. Now, he set up his own his rocks for me. I didn't expect him to want to try and defog them at all. So I do set up my own rocks. He knows I predicted he'd know I got Stealth Rocks. But I should have set them up the turn before, I think. We should have got our rocks up together. I'm just playing for Haxlia. I go for another... I do select Toxic. Whether I go for Toxic was another question. I was scared of his Vaporeon having Heal Bell. It's a very known strat. But I do go for it anyway. I do take the Scald very, very well. They're probably predicting a switch there. Because nothing can really take a Scald on my team besides my Bronzong here. So I do go and get a Toxic up. Which is really, really nice. This thing's now Toxic. If he wants to go for Heal Bell, he'll have to use a turn. I'm feeling a switch, but I go for Earthquake. Knowing he's got 2 resistances to Earthquake, it's not great, but he does go for another Scald. It does next to no damage. I do get an Earthquake off, and it does next to nothing. This thing is very, very bulky. I want to say it's maybe a Bulb-natured Vaporeon, maybe being his defensive wall looking at his team. But I do have to switch here. There's nothing my Bronzong can do to this Vaporeon. There's literally nothing it can do. Earthquake does nothing, and Gyro Ball is going to do next to nothing. Though it is quite speedy, the damage just isn't going to do much. So I do have to switch here. I don't really have any other choice. So I'm damage calculating here. I'm looking. I'm seeing what I could switch into. I'm trying to predict what he's going to go for. I think he's going to go for his Tornadus. He actually goes out into his Hotline Wings, which is his Latias. I'm predicting maybe a Defog to come out here. And I'm just damage calculating. I know an Outrage can kill, but he's got the Sylveon, so I can't really click Outrage. If I clicked Outrage, I would have done an amazing amount of damage. This thing would have had a potential to drop. Because it doesn't actually switch into his Sylveon. I do click Ice Punch in case of that, and he does go for the Draco Meteor and miss. I feel so sorry for him, sort of. But yeah, there's nothing. I can't stay in here. He outspeeds. If he gets another one off, I'm dead. I just wish I wasn't banded and I was and maybe Life Orbed instead. If I was Life Orbed, I'd been able to go for Extreme Speed and just finish that thing right there. He goes for Draco Meteor. I switch out into Bronzong to take the damage, and he can just recover here, which is really annoying. There's nothing this guy can do to him, unfortunately. It was just a wall. So I do go for the Gyro Ball for what it's worth. He does outspeed. It would have killed, though, if I had have outsped. I go for the Toxic because I know he's going to roost again. I need to put this thing on a timer. At least then, there's not much you can do. So I do go for the Toxic again. Playing for hacks this game, really am. Toxic everything if I can possibly do so. I go for another Gyro Ball. Hopefully he stays in and maybe goes for something else. He does use Defog. There's his Defogger. It does prove. And we do get a crit there, which was really nice. The Toxic is going to whittle him away. But with no Stealth Rocks up, he can freely switch out into his Gale Wings, which he really wanted to do. And he does, in fact, go and do. This is where I get very scared. He could just click Flare Blitz here. KOs my Great Wall. He can just set up. He knows I can't stay in. He knows I can't touch this thing. He's seen all my moveset. So maybe all I could have done is gone for Toxic, maybe. That might have been a viable strategy I could have gone for there. But I know there's no point keeping it in case he does go for Flare Blitz. I need to try and keep this wall around as much as I can. So I do switch out and I go into Zoro. Now, I messed up his moveset. I didn't switch out and put Stone Edge on this guy, which is a real shame. This guy, unfortunately, if I'd have got... I'm just so mad. I'm so mad I didn't have Stone Edge. If I had Stone Edge, I could have KO'd this thing right here and I would have took no damage. Zoro would have survived. But I got really mad with myself. I didn't have Stone Edge. I didn't do it. But it does, in fact, outspeed. And the Brave Bird kills. Being at +2, there was no way it wasn't going to kill. So I have to think of another way around this. There's nothing... This thing I was quite scared about. It's really, really powerful. It's very, very fast. And it can sweep teams. I've seen Talonflame sweep teams before now. I just have a passionate hate for it. It's just one of those mons that you just look at and it's like, ugh, why Talonflame? Just why? So I'm damage calculating away here. I do decide to go out into my Dragonite. I was trying to damage calculate how much an extreme speed would do to this thing. Now, it does have a chance to kill. It does max damage 70%. So I was really, really relying on a kill, a max roll, or a crit. I was really, really, really relying on this crit, or at least a max roll, and be able to take this thing out. And I think he's thinking, and there we go, we got the crit. We got the crit. He even says in chat, wow, I did not expect that to come out. That was just so lucky. If I hadn't killed that thing, I would have just been swept. That would have been me. That would have been it. I'd have been swept right there. There was nothing else I could have done if that hadn't killed. But luckily I damage calcs and that did in fact kill. With it being a crit, he can't tell whether I'm banded or not. Well, he must know I'm banded from earlier with the choice band, from the Latias and the Ice Punch, or I could have just gone extreme speed earlier. So he knows now I am banded, which is a little bit of a sad note. But I do tell him there that max damage was only 70%, so that crit definitely mattered. Definitely 100% mattered. I'm so glad it crit. That was really good news. So he does switch out into his Rhydon here. He knows extreme speed does 0 to this. It does about, I think it does about 10% when I calculate it, which is really, really sad. Even if this thing's Eviolighted, which it may as... in fact, I never thought about that while I was battling. This thing could have been Eviolighted. So my only other option here was to switch out into my Spectre. He does get his rocks back up. He's not getting rid of them again. If he switches out, Latias dies. So I do go for the Giga Drain, hoping he'd stay in. He doesn't. He switches into Zeus. I should have just gone Shadow Ball for just in case he switched. I just clicked it without even thinking. Giga Drain's going to do nothing to a Thunderous. So that was a massive mistake on my part. Shadow Ball would have done a lot more damage. I could have KO'd it right here with another Shadow Ball if that's what I would have done. But I have to switch out. I do go into the Great Wall. He knows I'm going to switch. He does go for the Vault Switch. Does get a crit. That made me so mad. That crit changed the game. That crit changed the game so much. It took far too much damage. There was not much else I could have done here. Out comes his blue once more. I was predicting him for go, because I do scroll up actually to see how much a Scald does. It does 19%, so I'm just under. That crit hadn't done it, I might have survived 2 hits and been able to get some decent amount of damage off on this thing. This thing's dying. There's no point switching. I just let it drop because I can't switch into anything else. Yeah, Mega is a bit redundant here because of the rocks. It takes 50% damage no matter what. I have nothing to get rid of the rocks. That's been my problem this entire season. I haven't had a spinner or a very good defogger throughout the entire season. So that has been a really big problem this season for me. But yeah, so I'm trying to damage count now. What could survive a hit? What could potentially kill? I do decide Spectra might be a viable option. If I could get a Giga Drain off, it might be some nice damage to this thing. So I do switch out into it. That Stealth Rocks matters, unfortunately. We will get some of the health back, but a Scald and whatnot will just blow. It literally just blows Haunter out of the water, literally. And Haunter will drop to a Scald. But I had to do this because what else could I have done here? Your Mega would have died. So he does in fact switch, which I was quite surprised about. It just takes the hit. I do go for Shadow Ball after the last mistake I made for not just clicking Shadow Ball anyway. And I do think he does get the free switching. He uses his Latias as a free switch. And out comes a Ribbon. because I'm choice scarfed, I can't freely click Sludge Wave here like I wanted to. So I have to switch. I just sack off my Yamega right here. Because Hyper Voice just kills everything. And Hyper Voice does in fact blow Yamega out the water. If I had Lapras there, I think I should have used Lapras. Thinking back to this battle now, I should have used Lapras instead. It would have dealt with the Rhydon. Zeus is a bit of a problem still. But again, there was not much I could do here. I was backed into a corner. Spectre, I wanted to get a Sludge Wave off, if possible. There wasn't too much I could have done. So I do go out into Spectre. That matters. It does about 80%, so I'm just under. He goes for the protect, scouting out what I'm going to do. I do go Sludge Wave, so he knows now what I'm going to do. He can eat that up. He can eat that up, believe it or not. But he doesn't decide to stay in. I decide to just Sludge Wave again. Unfortunately, what can I do here? This Rhydon's on the field. If I switch, a Rock Blast is going to KO everything on my team. Literally, everything is dead to a Rock Blast. So I decide to stay in with Spectre and go for the Sludge Wave again. Hopefully getting a crit, and then maybe the poison would tick it down and kill it. That's what I was hoping for. Oh no, that did not happen. Of course it didn't happen. The hacks weren't playing very nice for me today. I do go for the Sludge Wave, don't get the crit. It's resisted. The Rock Blast does in fact KO me. And down goes Spectre. Hopefully I could have done so much better there, but the crit, I was praying for the crit again, and it didn't happen. So I can KO this thing right here if I really wanted to. The only problem really is that Sylveon right now. There's not much I could do with the Sylveon being there. Just being there, it's a problem. So I do go out into You Got Mail, take the damage like a boss, and I go for Extreme Speed because it does about 60%, about 40 to 60% on every mon on his team. Though I'm tempted to go Earthquake as well. Earthquake, it'll kill this, but I do go for the Earthquake, and that's where I messed up. I should have just clicked Extreme Speed, or at least clicked Ice Punch, because I forgot about Zeus. He's a flying type. I should have just clicked Extreme Speed. That was a really big mismatch on my part. I'm really salty about that play. I even say in chat I forgot about him. The Earthquake resistance is there. There's not much I can do here. I have to switch, or I just have to let this thing drop. It's one of two ways. I switch, I take it, Hercules drops, or this thing drops. So I just let my Dragonite drop, and hopefully I try and get a Hercules sweep. I mean, I could just quick attack here. That's the only thing I can do. I have to quick attack because if he gets a Volt Switch off, I'm dead. So I have to quick attack. I can't even try and set up against this thing. But he's Prankster and gets the Thunder Wave off on me, which is... I'm so mad. That just ruined my chances of winning. So he's got 2 evolutions left. This thing is a pain. Now I should have gone with my gut, because he has about 5 to 10% chance of KOing me right here. But I go for quick attack. Stupid. If I'd have gone for return and then quick attack, I'd have KO'd this thing, and then it'd have just been down to Bubba, which is a real shame. Ugh. The Polarisis played a big part. That was GG right there. Well, that is the match for PFC, the final week. We didn't in fact stop HD, but that was a really awesome match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I made a few misplays, but that's all this series is about learning and growing and becoming a better battler, because if there's no practice, you're not going to learn. But that is it for PFC. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you smash that like button down below. But for now, I'll catch you guys all in whatever my next video is. Hopefully you enjoyed PFC. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But hopefully there'll be a season 3. If there is, maybe we can mix it up with a bit of something different next season. But that is all. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll catch you guys all next time. Bye for now.